Gas Buddy for helping us find gas under $3. It's $2.99 here. I believe we're in Dell, Arkansas, and I'm really excited about that. Now entering Big Lake WMA, Arkansas Game and Fish Commission, developed and managed for the sportsmen of Arkansas. It's beautiful.
So we could in theory just pull off like right there, you know.
Pretty neat, huh?
Yeah, it looked a little sketchy coming in, but like,
Yeah.
over here it's like, oh, okay, this is what I thought it was.
Love all those trees growing out of the water. Oh, so pretty. You guys, we're in Mallard Lake, Arkansas.
Yeah, so this is gonna be our first actual like legit boondocking location.
Yeah, not using Boondockers Welcome or anything, just on our own accord. Luke found this on the map and it's awesome. And we made it just in time for sunset.
Looks like a pretty good, there's a bunch of little turnoffs. So we found this spot here. And I'm probably gonna reline up where we're parked for now, but get a little bit better ground. There's tons of these little pull-off areas. We drove about 4 miles in, and there's this big lake. This is run by the Arkansas Wildlife and Fishing, so it's a fisherman's lake.
We won't be doing any of that.
Yeah, I'm not a fisher myself, but really pretty, and I'm pretty sure we think there might be otters or beavers out here.
Yeah, we saw one running across the road and then something swimming.
Yeah, we saw something, so maybe we'll get something out there. I looked and looked and looked and never saw anything about camping out here saying yay or nay, so we're just gonna give it a shot.
We just found a piece of a shell out here. It's really pretty. I bet there's so much treasure on this ground out here.
I might get the RV parked before it gets dark. So.
Yeah, we should probably do that first. It's really, really cool out here. Trying to get a little bit more level over here. I gotta say, this is a new feeling of excitement. This is kind of what I dreamed about when I dreamed about RV life. Not really staying at the RV park so much, but just really going out and boondocking and seeing nature. And I'm pretty elated right now.
It's a man-made lake, but nature all the same.
Here we are in Mallard Park, Arkansas, out in the middle of nowhere, just boondocking it, living our best life. And we hear a pop. Yeah, I brushed it off as a firework. Looks like, I think that's a gunshot. I'm like, yeah, it's a firework. Then we hear some ducks, quack, 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 quack. Our cats start to look out the window. Then we hear pop, 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 pop. I'm like, I think that is a gunshot. So we should be safe out here in our big corduroy, but yeah, somebody's hunting tonight.
Shooting off rounds at the lake or something.
Yeah.
You can hear it echoing across the water, so I don't know.
And it's dark out.
As long as they're not shooting at us.
Right? Yeah. As you hear our beautiful thunderstorm this morning that we got woken up to. I love it. Good morning.
Hey.
So today we are in Mallard Lake, Arkansas, or at Mallard Lake, Arkansas. It's near Manila and Dell, if you're looking for it.
Northeast Arkansas.
And Luke actually, while we were in Tennessee, he looked on the map at a few places we could boondock, and this was one of those locations.
Yeah, so we had good luck. We've had great luck with Boondockers Welcome. And it was enough to kind of make sure all the bugs were shook out of the RV. So we haven't had any issues. We've been through a couple of rainstorms and no major leaks. Really no leaks at all that I've seen. So we're figured it's time for actual boondocking.
Yeah.
So I just kind of looked around on the map and was looking for national parks or state parks or, you know, recreation areas. Mallard Lake itself is actually a nature reserve and fishing and wildlife. So they have a couple boat ramps. It's a man-made lake from the looks of it, and it looks like it probably is used for like flood control, but it's actually really nice. And we actually, on the way in, it was probably what, 2 or 3 miles on gravel to get in, and we saw something skitter across the road, and it looked like a ferret or maybe an otter.
I think it was an otter.
Yeah.
So cool.
And so we actually, just before we started recording, we saw one right on the bank here. So definitely otters out here.
Yeah.
So that was an unexpected surprise.
Yeah, so cool. I've never seen an otter in real life before.
Yeah. But seems like a pretty cool spot. It was a little weird pulling in because there's actually some residential areas on the gravel road when we first pull in. That was a little unexpected.
We didn't know if we were in the right area or what was going on.
Yeah, but it's been super quiet. There's been a few cars last night that drove through, trucks and four-wheel drive vehicles. Last night, this morning, I think 2 have come through so far that I've noticed anyways. But
We're kind of out here in the middle of nowhere though.
yeah, no one's bothered us. No one's poked around or parked next to us, you know, so it's been fine. And as you can hear, it's been really windy last night.
Oh yeah.
And we just had a front hit us, and that was a little like, whoa.
Yeah, our RV was moving back and forth, and the water looked like the ocean. It was really cool though.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to drive in it though. I was like, let's wait a little bit to drive before the storm hits.
Yeah, so it's like 64, 65 degrees right now, which is nice, but it's gonna get cold later this evening, so.
Right. I guess we could chat a little bit about our experience really actually boondocking and not using a company. I will tell you that we were a little paranoid last night because we've never experienced anything like this before.
Yeah, I was a little unsure. I think, you know, since there were some residential areas on our way in, we were like, oh, that's not what we were expecting. And so it made us a little nervous, and then, you know, a little bit more traffic than we were expecting coming through. But it was super quiet. So this being our first time, yeah, you know, it's like your first time camping outside in a tent. Every noise kind of makes you go, oh, what was that, you know? But it ended up being fine.
Yeah, it was fine. I would say it took us a while to fall asleep, and we did do a few things just to secure ourselves a little bit better, and we wanted to share those with you all. So our friend Helen actually suggested that if we're ever boondocking, to take our seat belts in the cab and push them through the door and then secure them, lock them. That way, if anybody tries to get in your door, they're still not going to be able to. And I thought that was just an ingenious idea. Love that idea, Helen. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it worked really well. I was surprised. I figured the seat belts wouldn't be long enough. So, you know, it would only really work if there's like an armrest, a full loop where you can loop it through and then rebuckle it. Like, some vehicles may not allow for that, but luckily ours does.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool, you know. I was surprised.
Just little things like that make you feel a little safer. And then, you know, of course, we just have our little door back here that you could easily probably break into. But we went ahead and put a chair in front of it last night. That way, if someone did try to break in, we would at least get a little bit more time and we could hear them trying to break in, because you could call it paranoid, but it's better to be safe than sorry, especially when you're in an area that you don't know and you don't know the people. Another thing that we would suggest is just to make sure you have protection, whatever that means to you, but make sure you have protection when you're out in the boonies, because you never know what could happen.
Yeah, someone was popping off some rounds last night over the lake. I heard one shot, and we're like, oh, maybe fireworks or whatever, but then like a couple minutes later it was like 4 or 5 rounds in a row. Heard them echoing across the lake, and I was like, well, as long as they're not shooting at us, I guess we're okay. You know?
A little unexpected,
yeah,
but
I mean, yeah.
Another thing we did was it's really good to let family or friends know your location when you're boondocking.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I used Facebook Messenger to location share to her mom and my dad to let them know exactly where we were. In fact, we probably need to get a hold of them, let them know we're still alive.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you know?
But it's just good things like that because you don't want anything bad to happen, obviously, but you just want to prepare in case it does. People at least know where you're at.
Yeah, it could be anything from not having cell service and you get stuck in the mud, or it could be, you know, an accident really happens, like in this case with strong winds come through. What if the RV blew over and like we were hurt and unable to get a hold of anybody? Who knows?
At least someone would know where we were.
Yeah. So yeah, always, I think that's a good rule and thumb anytime you're planning on going off the beaten path, period.
Just let someone know where you are.
Hiking or, taking a road trip or anything. And with technology now, it works great, you know.
Yeah. But it was really cool. It felt super adventurous to just go out in the middle of nowhere and stay. Like we said, it was a little bit scary at first, but I think it's something that grows on you. And it was just nice for it to just be us and the cats out here in nature. Really, really cool. So I would suggest giving it a try if you're comfortable with it, but definitely be as safe as possible and let people know where you're at.
Yeah, scope out the areas first, you know. I mean, Google, what I did is I just looked for parks and areas that looked out in the middle of nowhere and just kind of zoomed in on Google Maps with the satellite and looked like, oh, it looks like there's decent pull-offs here. Doesn't look like we're going to be anyone's way, you know, and just made some reasonable assumptions and guesses. If you're ever in doubt, always try and reach out to the National Park Service or the state, the rangers, you know, all of them. Like, I just called ahead for the next place we're going to stay and called the ranger's office there, and they were like, yeah, it's totally fine. There's just no water and power right now. So it's like, oh yeah, that's fine. So,
yeah. So if, you know, you're cool with it, you can, like Luke said, stay at a lot of places off season and they won't charge you. So this next place we're going, it does have an RV location, but it's off season, so they don't charge you at all. So if you have solar and you're willing to boondock, you could save a lot of money and you could see a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah. I mean, outside of staying in Kentucky at where my dad was, we haven't paid to stay a single night yet. And, you know, so far that's mostly due to Boondockers Welcome. Mm-hmm. So technically we did pay for a membership for that.
Yeah.
You know, so. But yeah, first time around, and it's totally worth it. Mm-hmm. Especially to see some otters.
Definitely, yeah, that was so cool.
I keep looking out the window hoping I see another one. But, yeah. But yeah, Mallard Lake in northeast Arkansas. So look it up.
Yeah, and thank you guys so much for going on these adventures with us and hanging out. We really appreciate your support, and we will see you next time. Bye. You guys, we're just about to leave and we're stuck. Let me show you. We are stuck. Hopefully I can do this without. Alright, so here's our tire. And save the camera, save the camera. Here's our other tire. So we'll have to figure that out real fast. This will be an adventure. It's a tad bit chilly out there, guys. We came up with an ingenious plan. We took our wheel block, the one that we have left, and we dug out the tires, and then we took the wheel chocks, the leveling blocks, sorry. And Luke just put one in front of the other, and just kind of worked his way out. Now we're up on the gravel. We got a little muddy, got a little wet. It's kind of fun. What do you think, babe?
Adventures.
We did it.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Just kind of had to like rock and then just let it launch itself out, you know?
Yeah, I was cheerleading from outside. I'm like, go, go, go. But yeah, so, you know, got stuck in that stuff. And now we are gonna go a few miles on this gravel road, see what happens.